When You Trapped by a Tiger, chapters 30 and 31. Chapter 30. Sam and I reach the library, and when we open the doors, I hear music and laughter. The change of atmosphere is disorienting. On one side of the library, Jensen crowds around her laptop with a girl and a boy who both look about her age. And on the other, Ricky sits with his back to me at a table with two other boys. I'm overwhelmed and want to turn around immediately, but Joe stops me. Lily! He shouts over the pop music, almost smiling. I walk over to him and introduce Sam, who shakes his hand and smiles, as if nothing's wrong and our lives are totally fine. Joe pulls a cupcake out from behind his desk and hands it to me. I take it, not quite knowing what to do. I'm making a tester batch, he says. His mustache twitches above his smile. Let me know what you think. It's a nice gesture, but I don't think I can eat it. I'm too anxious right now. I feel like everyone can see sick grandma written on my forehead, and I don't want to face the world. Jensen sees us and dances over, hips bopping, bop popping to the music. Sam! Her smile is so big, it makes double parentheses on her cheeks. And Lily, I'm so glad you're here. She looks at Sam for two heartbeats and says, You any good with tech? We're setting up an email newsletter for the library and scaring Joe with all of this newfangled technology. Sam laughs as if it weren't for the tension in her, and if it weren't for the tension in her shoulders, I would think she forgot about what just happened. Jensen pulls her away, and then I'm standing alone in front of Joe's desk. This is why I didn't want Sam here. When she's here, there's no space for me. I can't stay home. I can't stay here. I am lost. Lily? Joe clears his throat, looking concerned and uncomfortable. What's the matter? Nothing. I should go, I say, even though I really don't want to go home. Joe frowns. Do you want to see the noisy kid and his friends? I look over at Ricky and his group and shake my head. Joe sighs as if he's already regretting it. He says, You can talk to me. I don't mean to, but it's like he's said a magic spell, and I do. My Helmoni used to tell us these stories, and when I was little, and I really loved them. But now I'm learning all these new stories, and they're different. They're scary, and I think they're dangerous because they're making things change in ways that I don't think are good. Actually, I think things are worse now, all because decided to hear these new stories, and I didn't realize I'm not making sense. So I take a breath and add, I just miss the way things used to be. I don't want anything to change. I clamp my lips shut, horrified that I've said so much. But opening up is also a relief. I glance back to Sam and Jensen and Ricky and the rest, but they're busy and they can't hear me over the music anyway. Joe nods slowly. As you get older, you collect more information and you see things from from different perspectives. So naturally, sometimes the stories that you tell yourself can change. I twist my hands together. But what if those stories aren't what you want them to be? His eyes are soft. Do you know why I became a librarian? I wait for him to tell me because I don't. Dewey, he says, as in the decimal system. I'm not sure if he's joking or not, but he continues. I like order. I like organization. The idea of all the information in the world, all organized, everything in its place. I like that idea. He clears his throat. But I've been doing this job for a long time. And the thing I've learned is that stories aren't about order and organization, they're about feelings. And feelings don't always make sense. See, stories are like he pauses, brow furrowing, then nods, satisfied in finding the right comparison. Water. Like rain. We can hold them tight, but they always slip through our fingers. I try to hide my shock. Joe doesn't seem like the poetic type. His caterpillar eyebrows knit together. That can be scary, but remember that water gives us life. It connects continents, it connects people. And in quiet moments, when the water's still, sometimes we can see our reflection. Do you understand what I'm saying? Kind of, I say, even though I'm not entirely sure. Joe's eyes are almost shiny, and I wonder what slipped through his fingers. I've just thought of him as a grouchy librarian man, but I realize now that I saw only a piece of him. His story is so much bigger. He's had this whole life, a life I might never know about. Thanks, Joe, I say. He looks over my shoulder. Well, the noisy kid is waving rather frantically. Behind me, I hear Ricky's voice. Lily! I turn to see Ricky with the other boys. Hello, he says, grinning. These are my friends, and now they're your friends too. He introduces them. Connor, a pale boy with green plastic glasses, and Adam, a freckly kid with curly red hair. The three of them match each other. All boys, same skin tone, same height, same burst out of your skin energy. Adding me to this mix is like throwing a carrot into a bowl of fruit salad and hoping nobody notices the difference. I try to act like a regular girl. I try not to go invisible. I try to pretend that everything is fine at home. But I'm trying so hard that I forget to respond. Hi, I mumble, after a second, forcing a smile. Connor and Adam stand around Ricky, with him at the center. Turns out I was right. Ricky is a sticky person. Oh man, how do you get one of Joe's cupcakes? He asks. I look down at my hand. I forgot I had it. I hold it out for him to eat. You're the best, he says as he takes it and bites into it. These are so good, but I'm still craving pudding. Connor, with the glasses, snorts. Pudding, Ricky? Really? Pudding is gross. Ricky shakes his head, offended. Chocolate pudding is the fourth most delicious food. Everyone knows that. He looks over at the teenager table. Chocolate pudding is the fourth most delicious food. Everyone knows that. He looks over at the teenager table. I'm going to ask Jensen if she has any pudding cups. Adam, of the freckles, shakes his head. Dude, chill. He turns to me and his eyes crinkle. He looks familiar, though. I'm not sure why. So, Lily, where are you from? My brain goes blank for a second. Then I say, I'm from across the street. For some reason, I feel like that wasn't the answer he was looking for. But he gives me a half nod, a quick jerk of his chin. You mean the house on the hill with that lady? She's my grandma. Connor's eyebrows go high. The crazy witch lady is your grandma? I want to tell him crazy is not a thinking word, but my mouth feels dry. Connor keeps talking. That's so cool. I heard she does spells and curses people. Did she teach you how? Can you put a curse on someone? I look to Ricky, waiting for him to defend Halmoni, to defend me, but he just takes another bite of the cupcake and nods along. Adam says, Nah, she doesn't curse people. She cures them. My mom is convinced Lily's grandma healed her asthma, but my mom also believes in TV psychics, so who knows? And I realize why he seems so familiar. I met his mom at the grocery store. They have the same red hair and freckles. She's one of Halmoni's friends. Connor is unconvinced. I don't know why. The witch lady is scary. I lift my fingers to my neck, searching for the pendant, but I drop it quickly. It's not safe anymore. I guilt claws at my stomach. I should defend Halmoni, but all my words have evaporated. And for a moment, I don't want to defend her. For a moment, I wish she were a normal grandmother who makes brownies instead of kimchi, who knits scarves instead of mixing strange Korean herbs. Ricky finally speaks, mouth still full. Guys, Lily's grandma is not scary. It's not her fault that she's like that. She's sick, so she has hallucinations that make her act that way. Like scared of ghosts and tigers and stuff, right, Lily? The ground becomes a black hole, a tiger's mouth, jaws open wide, and I'm falling in, swallowed whole. He wasn't supposed to tell, but that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that when I heard Ricky say that, it felt like the sickness is all that Halmoni is. Like the sickness is the reason for how she is. But Halmoni isn't like that because she's sick. She's like that because she's Halmoni, because she's magic. She's always been that way. Now it feels like there's something wrong with that. Halmoni buys rice and pine nuts and herbs to cast magic. She feeds spirits. She believes in all the things you cannot see. She lives in a house at the top of a hill, a house covered in vines with windows that watch like unblinking eyes. She is a witch looming over the town, like something out of a fairy tale. She's not normal. I'm not normal. And I thought Ricky was on my side, but he's not. He's horrible, like those horrible other boys. And I was wrong to think we could ever be friends. I feel like there's a spotlight on me, and my eyes start to burn. I look at the floor, begging myself not to cry. Connor looks uncomfortable, eyes darting between Ricky and me. Pudding, he blurts out. Ricky, maybe you should ask Jensen for pudding. Now. I'll get it, I say, grateful for the escape. I walk away fast. Ricky calls after me, but I need to get away from them. I walk down the hallway, past Jensen and Sam, and the other teenagers, past rows of books, into the staff room at the back of the library. It's quiet back here, and the silence sounds like relief. The cat poster tells me to hang in there. I take a deep breath and open the refrigerator to take out a chocolate pudding. And then I stop. This is ridiculous. Ricky was mean to me, and I didn't stand up for Halmoni or myself, and now I'm fetching him a pudding? It's pathetic. That's classic QAG behavior. But a thought pops into my head. Uninvited. It's not a thought that should belong to me. It's like it comes from somewhere else entirely. But as I stand there staring at the pudding, that thought settles in my stomach, thick and heavy as mud. Chapter 31. Before I can second guess myself, I grab the chocolate pudding, turn myself invisible, and slip out the back door of the staff room into the rain. The ground is soft and slimy, and if you think about it, it looks a lot like pudding. I pull the foil lid off the cup carefully and only slightly so you couldn't tell the cup had been opened unless you were really looking hard. Then I dump some of the pudding on the ground and scoop mud inside. Halmoni fed Dad mud because he spoke too much without thinking. And if Ricky wants a curse, he's going to get one. I hold my hands over the pudding cup and focus all my energy onto it, feeling ridiculous, but also powerful. I am not weak. I'm not a weak, quiet girl. I will defend my Halmoni. I am brave and I believe. I stare at the pudding and think, be nice, Ricky. Think before you speak. Then I add, and get a stomach ache, just for good measure. My heart screams wildly in my ears, and I half expect to be caught by Jensen or Joe, but no one else is around. No one except I look up to see the tiger sitting in front of me, tail dancing in the rain. What are you doing here? I ask, rubbing raindrops from my eyes. What? A tiger can't enjoy the library? It happens to be my favorite place. I stare at her. What do you want? She lifts one shoulder in a shrug, and her stripes ripple like waves. I am merely observing, just as you observe us in the zoo. In the zoos. I lower the pudding and let the rain run into my mouth as I say, Halmoni forgot about the pendant and Sam's white streak today. Was she forgetting or remembering? I glare at her, sick of riddles. You must reach the end. And then what? And then Halmones is cured? And then the stories stop being scary? Tell me what happens. She doesn't respond. I'm sick of everyone hiding things from me. I'm sick of people acting like I'm not there, or I don't matter, or I can't do anything. The pudding trembles in my hands. I'm not an invisible little girl. I am not a QAG. I spin around and walk back toward the library door. I was wrong about you, the tiger says. I stop, but I don't turn around. The back of my neck prickles. It seems you have a tiger side after all. I spin to face her, and she sits watching me as her tail flicks. For a second, her words almost feel true. I feel fierce and strong. I feel unstoppable, like my teeth could turn into blades and my nails into claws, like I could stand up for myself and nobody could ignore me. But I'm not like her because she's the villain and I'm the hero. I fix things, whether it's Ricky's rudeness or Halmoni's illness. I make things better, and I don't trick people, making them wait for the end while bad things happen. I'm not a monster, I tell her. Leave me alone. She tisks, a sharp sound that scrapes against her teeth. As you wish. And then, in a flash, she's gone. I am alone again, in the rain, with only of the pudding cup clutched to my chest. I shake her out of my head and slip back inside, then lean against the door, hard thudding. I won't let her upset me. I won't second guess this. I wring out my hair, shake the droplets off my raincoat, and wipe my face with a paper towel. Then I take another towel to dry the pudding cup, and I smooth out the foil lid. I'm surprised at my handiwork. You can hardly tell I've messed with it. I grab a plastic spoon from one of the drawers and head back to Ricky's group. With the tiger gone and the chocolate mud pudding in my hand, I feel much better than before. You're all wet, Ricky announces when I give him the cup and spoon. Adam frowns. Are you okay? I just wanted some air, I say. Ricky doesn't hear the tension in my voice. He trusts me. He lifts the spoon, peels back the foil without noticing anything. Too late, I question my decision. Maybe at least I shouldn't have added the stomach ache part. But I don't stop but I don't stop him. I stand there and watch as he takes a spoonful, lifts it to his lips, and swallows. The moment stretches into infinity. Then his nose crinkles. Something's wrong with this pudding. Adam says, Don't eat it if it tastes weird. Wait, Ricky says. He takes another bite and nods in confirmation. Yes, the pudding is weird. I feel a little dizzy. I need to go. But I can't leave now without being nervous, about being obvious. Ooh, this is like making me sick to my stomach as a narrator to read this. Yuck. I feel a little dizzy. I need to go. But I can't leave now without being obvious. I think there's something in it. Ricky takes another bite and shakes his head. I'm not sure what. Connor grabs it from Ricky's hands and tastes it for himself. Oh, weird, he says. Weird for sure. Adam frowns at the cup. If you think that's weird, don't eat it. The consistency looks like the consistency the consistency looks off. It could be poop. Oh, that made me throw up in my mouth a little bit, and I'm not joking. Ricky's eyes pop. I ate poop? Goodness. Across the library, I see Jensen look over at us in confusion, and all the boys start talking about poop at once. It was just mud, I blurt out. They go silent, staring at me. Panicked, I try to go invisible, but they won't stop staring. It was just mud, I say quieter now. Mud isn't that bad. They blink in shock, and Ricky looks at me with a mixture of fear and awe. Awe. You cursed me, he whispers, and I can't deal anymore. I turn and run out of the library, sprinting across the street without looking both ways. The library door slams behind me, and I hear Sam calling my name, but I don't look back. I don't stop. I take the steps, three at a time, as I run up, up, up to the witch's house. Oh my goodness, I apologize. That chapter made me physically sick. The power of words. That concludes the read aloud for today.